Have a nice gay.
Hey, beautiful. It's Friday, November 19th, 2021. Welcome to Have a Nice Gay, where even my mama thinks my mind is gone. I'm Pharrell from Minority Report podcast, and I'm here with my friend Kyle from Gayish. How you doing today, boo?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. And I hear you have something for us that's in the news.
Yes, I have something in the news that I wanted to talk about. And it's going to start at a board meeting for a Chicago-based high school.
Okay.
So just this past Monday on November 15th, there was a board meeting for the Downers Grove District 99 High School, and they were meeting to discuss among other things, or a lot of people showed up because they wanted to discuss a book that people wanted to have banned. Unfortunately, this is not isolated to this one school district. There have been pushes to ban a lot of LGBT books, but this one is the book Genderqueer by Maya Kobabe. And I got some of this info from the Chicago Sun-Times article that went up by Nader Issa, if you want to go read a little bit more about it. But there were hundreds of people that showed up at this particular board meeting. And the reason I wanted to bring this up, it's a bad, terrible, challenging situation, but I specifically wanted to call out a few of the high school students that showed up in support of the book, because I think what they said is really important. And as we've seen related to LGBT issues, oftentimes the smartest people in the room. So there were a few juniors and seniors that were quoted in this article, and I just wanted to read a few of the things that they said about the book. Quote, "This isn't being forced upon your kids, but it gives kids who would be interested in this story a choice to read it." Another student said, "Let's not present getting rid of genderqueer as censoring our children from sex. It's homophobia. And inclusion matters to young people. This is why we must have this book in our school's library. Inclusion brings an opportunity to grow in a safe environment. It brings comfort to people who feel unsolved and cast out." The article pointed out that a lot of the people there, when they gave the option for people to speak about this, among the actual residents of this county, most were there to actually support it. So when you see some of these news articles and see detractors, it's like, are you affected by this? Do you go to this high school? Do you live here? Right. Or are you just a very vocal group that wants to show up? I wanted to also mention, especially because it is Transgender Awareness Week, a little bit more about the author, because I learned a little bit more about trans issues just by reading up on the author. So Maya Kobabe, you can go to the website redgoldsparkspress.com to learn more. The pronouns Maya uses are Spivak pronouns, which I didn't know what they were until I looked at this. They are air. So just use the same grammatical syntax as they, them, their, but air. So apparently I learned a little bit about Spivak pronouns and about the author on the podcast Gender Reveal. So if you're doing a little bit of trying to understand who this author is, different pronouns you've never heard of, the episode 50 of Gender Reveal around the 650 mark, Maya talks a little bit more about those pronouns. And Maya said that, back to the book, Maya said that he originally wrote the book because our family would say, "We love you, support you, but we have no idea what you're talking about." So it's a memoir partially to try to explain. And to me, like, hearing that is like, that's what I want kids to, when your family is like, "I have no idea what this is." That's exactly the book you want a memoir about to help other kids who are going through the same thing.
Masses. Come on.
Yes, exactly. And when he figured out that this book was starting to get restricted, one of the quotes from the article on the website is, "Removing or restricting queer books in libraries and schools is like cutting a lifeline for queer youth who might not even know what terms to Google to find out more about their own identities, bodies, and health." So lot going on. There are some negative things, but I wanted to bring up this story to point out the positive, especially young people, especially the trans people in this story that want to make sure that kids have access to the education, the book, the literature, the work that they should to understand themselves and their peers.
And that's why this week is so incredibly important, so incredibly crucial. And especially when it comes to books, you at the end of the day, you want your kid to read,
Yeah,
and to grow and educate yourself. So it's just like to take books out, like that's so bizarre to me. So thank you, Maya, for writing the book. Thank you for those that showed up and showed out to say, nope, we want this book in the library. We want to continue to read these types of books. And because you're kind of seeing this a lot of places right now, especially with LGBTQIA plus books, trying to get them out of schools and out of reading programs. So we got to keep on standing up, standing out, and keep on having these weeks where it's visible. We want to be seen. We want to be represented. We want to be heard and felt. So. Absolutely. I'm gonna check that book out.
Yeah, I was like, well, definitely ordering this book now.
Like, add it to the repertoire.
Exactly.
Well, that's it for today. Please be sure to join us tomorrow. We'll be talking more about the trans community for Trans Day of Remembrance. We are Have a Nice Gay Pod on all social media, and our website is haveanicegay.com. Until tomorrow, have a nice gay, Kyle.
Have a nice gay, Carl.
Have a nice gay.